marriage counseling. Like, I can't read how can I read your mind?
I don't know what you're going to say. I'm waiting for you to say it. Gosh, sleep on the couch.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the PPC Questions and Answers show. My name is Jason Rothman. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, the greatest, Chris Schaefer. Chris, how's it going today?
Just Chris today. Short show. Get to the point. Let's do it.
Okay. Today's question comes in from Chris from Madison, Wisconsin. Love the show. Great tips and great sense of humor. Started listening about 5 months ago. So did I. I just started listening to Chris about 5 months ago, and the show quality has really picked up, I think.
It's really picked up, yeah.
Chris says, I don't think you guys have done a show on attribution. We haven't.
Yeah.
Who cares? What's your go-to model? You can see my thoughts on this. Do you report assisted conversions and last click conversions? Do you look at conversion paths in the MCFGA report, etc.? Chris, thank you for the question. Chris, my co-host, what do you do with attributions on conversions?
Okay, so Chris, other people have asked about this. We've gotten other questions, and I thought, okay, it's time to not completely ignore it. We'll put it on the side piece show. We're not devoting a full 30, 45 minutes to this point. But Chris, thank you for the question, because it's something we probably should address, but Jason can echo here if he agrees. But here's my honest thoughts.
If he agrees, my honest
thoughts. If he doesn't agree, then we'll see. It'll be interesting. But I don't put a lot of concern into other attribution types, and apart from for some very specific clients that I might try something differently for. But despite getting pushed in the direction of trying to use the time decay or the linear stuff like that, I really just always use last click. And for me, it comes down to funnel. I mean, I am a funnel guy. I'm bottom of the funnel. I push towards the bottom of the funnel most of the time. Most of the time I'm dealing with real world situations here. I'm dealing with guys that are like, listen, Chris, I got $1,200 I can give you, and that's including your fee. So I need you to pay yourself and get me leads on Google with that whole budget. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, and I want to do 16 different services, and I want to advertise to the whole world. I'm like, good gosh, okay, I will try. I'm not dealing with excess budgets. I'm not dealing with, pushing something at the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom funnel. I'm trying to get leads at a good cost per acquisition. And when it comes down to it, last click attribution model is what I go with, because that's what I'm having to deal with. There's not usually a lot of clients that want to say, let's dabble in a little display. Let's dabble in a little YouTube. Let's try this. And if it doesn't work, after $500,000, we'll turn it off. That's not real world situation. And so I deal with last click because that's what I care about. And that's what it comes down to for me. I mean, that's real talk there. Real talk. Jason, am I wrong? Am I going too far?
No, I'm the same way. If I advertise for a plumber and someone searches for plumbers in Miami, humid down there, must be rough. But if they search plumbers in Miami and then they call into the business or they go to the website, I don't see like the next day them searching plumbers in Miami or plumbing companies in Miami and then converting that second day. It's like the industries you and I work in. It's so you search for it, you need it, you convert. So I don't give much thought to it, to be honest. And I just go with the last click because I want to know what produces conversions. What does produce conversions is the last click that produce a conversion. We know that for sure. And that's how I optimize my count. So is it something maybe I need to study up on more? Maybe. But at the same time, it seems like we're doing okay just focusing on last click for the industries we work in, for the type of advertisers we work with. But I would say, Chris, in Madison, Wisconsin, if you make attribution your thing, it could be your niche, and you'll be a step further than a lot of AdWords managers out there. And if you're dealing with bigger advertisers with different funnels and multiple campaigns and all this kind of stuff, it might be worth your time to give more thought to.
Yeah. Good stuff. And one last thing, I just want to clarify, Jason, before you take us out, last click is still going to work, even if the person comes across your ads multiple times. It's just where that conversion is tracked. Just for those who aren't familiar with how attribution works, it's only going to make a difference if they interact with you multiple times. So that's a big reason why I don't really bother with it much, because most of the time I can only afford to reach out to a customer one time. Other than remarketing, I can only touch that customer at a certain level one time. And if they hit my ad way up in the funnel real high, and then I know that they convert on the bottom one, I didn't really mean to reach out to them one at the top of the funnel. That I'm going to cut those keywords because they don't convert. I'm interested in the bottom of the funnel, and it's because I only want to touch a customer once. I'm a gentleman. So there you go, Jason.
Yes, thank you, Chris. So everyone, thank you, Chris, for your question. Everyone, you can leave us a question at paidsearchpodcast.com on the contact page. And if you have a Google Ads question, send it in. Just try it out, and we will answer it here on the show. And we thank you guys for reviewing. It's funny now, Chris, huh? We thank you guys for reviewing the show on iTunes, and we'll see you next time. Every Tuesday, every Wednesday on the PPC Questions and Answers show. All right, Chris. Now remember, buddy, this is behind the scenes on YouTube, so behave, young man.
Don't say any bad words. Okay. All right. I'm hosting this one. Yep. My turn. Energy. Okay. Hey, welcome to the Paid Search Podcast. I am Chris, and I am joined by my favorite co-host.
On the PPC Questions and Answers show.
Did I say it wrong? Dang it. I'm so excited. I was so excited to do it. Jason doesn't let me take the reins very often. I wonder why. I don't have a shirt with my own name on it, so that's probably why. Some of us just can't afford to buy name brand shirts with our own name on them. But anyway, today's not about me. Today's not about Jason. Today is about Jay from Charlotte. Beautiful area. Never been there, just seen pictures. Hey guys, I'm looking to get some new AdWords clients to grow my business via Upwork, and I'm having trouble constructing a winning proposal. Do you have some tips on what elements I need in my proposal to win more business? Jason, I know that you have been successful in Upwork.
Oh yeah.
Tell me a couple tips, one tip, two tips, your favorite ones about what makes a winning proposal. How do you get those clients out there?
Okay, so Jay, a couple tips. First tip is it's not just about your proposal, it's about your profile. So have lots of work examples on there, have a lot of content on there, have a lot of case studies on there, have great pictures. The reason I found Chris, the reason I reached out to him originally years and years ago is because he looked so professional. He looked the part, and he backs it up with great talented work, but he looks the part, and you got to look the part. So have a great profile picture and look professional. And then a couple other tips. The thing that's frustrating is spending all that time making those proposals, and then you're just one of 30, one of 50 people, and it takes a lot of time. But at the same time, you can't just put a stock answer on there because hiring people don't like seeing that. It looks lazy. So create a winning template that's easy to change anytime you need to actually answer and make a proposal. So create a template that's easily customizable for each specific job you apply to. And then my final tip, and this is a big one, Jay. This is a serious big one. And if you've ever listened to anything I say on this or the Paid Search Podcast, this is in terms of actually putting money in Jay's pocket. This is the biggest tip I can ever give for an AdWords freelancer, Chris.
Okay. Wow.
People are as dumb as rocks. I wrote this out for you today. People are suckers, and I capitalized the word suckers. Quote, I've got a lot of experience in this industry, or quote, I manage many accounts in this specific industry.
Absolutely.
Sorry, it's not nice, but it works, and business is about making money, putting food on the table, getting shelter from elements for your family. And if people are dumb as rocks and just give it up when they hear S like that, use it. So, Jay, I'm not your pastor. I'm not your wife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not your dad, Jay. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you what
just
spectrum of the moral spectrum to come down on.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what I know works. Okay.
Say it.
And I've heard so many times when I was starting out, Jason, you look great. You have a great profile. You look like you really know what you're doing, but we're just going to go with this other guy because they said they've worked for plumbers before. Do you know how many times I heard that, Jay? And then it works. So I don't know why people like hearing that a bunch, but that's the number one tip I can give. And Chris, when I was coming up, I lost a lot of business because I'm just going to be honest here, because I would do these proposals, I would do interviews, I would give an audit, and I'd put all that work in, and I knew I was the better option. And then they call me and they say, hey, we're just going with the other person because they have more experience. And, and when I was like 2 years in or a year in, Chris, I got sick of it. So I started saying I had more years of experience than I did. Is that the whole truth? Maybe not. But could I justify it, Chris? Could I justify it with, okay, when's the first time I touched an AdWords account? Oh, it wasn't a year ago. It was 3 years ago. It was 4 years ago. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, this is not a game. Like, you and I are not in this spot right now, but put yourself back where you got fired and you didn't have any income coming in. And if all you have to do is say, oh, I do have experience with the plumbing industry on AdWords to win the business, I'm not saying to do that, Jay. I'm just saying that's what will put money in your bank account. So that's my number one tip. And you don't have to be a scammer. You don't have to be a liar. You got to know what you're doing. Really know the plumbing industry if you're going to say that. But you know what? Maybe study the heck out of that industry, Jay. Maybe create a list of keywords for that industry. Create a list of 100 negative keywords for that industry. And maybe you don't say I have experience in that industry, but you tell them, hey, I've studied that industry. I've got 100 negative keywords going in. I've got 50 keywords we're going to target. I've got 10 different ad copies for your industry. So maybe if you don't want to say you have experience, you can prepare for that industry, but focus on the industry they're in. People love hearing that. Chris, what do you think about that tip? You know it's the truth.
Jason, I love it. I think that's great. I think that's basically I'm going to cut all my tips down. I think Jason delivered some meat here. I'm just going to have a small little dessert. I'm going to offer you one tip, Jay, my favorite one. I think a lot of people bore their clients or in the proposals, the clients that they read in the proposals. I think they bore them with a lot of details about what they're going to do. Most people don't understand all the jibber jabber about I'm going to get you a click-through rate. I'm going to do some quality score and blah, blah, blah. They don't care. Here's what they want to know. Focus on the results you will provide, but don't promise sales. Talk about the actual service that you're selling them. Tell them about what you're going to do for them. As Jason talks about, you need to convince them and show them the results after what you're going to be doing for them. So say like, you're going to get quality traffic. You're going to get great people coming to your site. You're going to get more leads because there will be more people that are interested in your service. I can guarantee that you'll be getting great traffic. Don't go so far as to say I'm going to get you a certain CPA. Don't say I'm going to get you 16 leads. Just talk about what you're going to deliver for them. Make promises in that direction. So that's my number one tip, because I think a lot of people get distracted by I'm going to build you 16 campaigns. They don't care about that. They just care about the results.
Chris, can I give a little confusing dichotomy here? Yes, I just talked about a technique that truly works, and maybe you've got to figure out how to get the truth around that for yourself with different industries. At the same time, truth on Upwork, straightforward business talk, no BS. It stands out among the prolific amount of BS so hardcore that if you just brand yourself as a business guy, Jay, as, hey, I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm not here to tell you about rock stars or gurus or click-through rate or all this technical stuff. I'm telling you what I can do for your business. So, Chris, that's what you were talking about. And the reason I think what you were talking about works, Chris, is because that approach of just being down to earth and talking about like what you can actually do for a business in a business sense stands out among so much BS.
Yeah. Jibber jabber, just a bunch of stuff nobody cares about. In the end, they don't really care how you're going to do it. They just care about what you're going to get done. So there you go, Jay. Best of luck to you. Send us a screenshot of your new premier provider status that you get on Upwork. Jason and I are at least I know I am in that club. It's a wonderful club to be in. They send you flowers every day. So thanks for listening to the PPC Questions and Answers Show. Send your question in at paidsearchpodcast.com, and you too can be the star of the show. Thanks for listening.
You practice that at night in the mirror, Chris?
No, that's natural. That's entirely natural.
Chris, did I get too real with that? I remember we're still on YouTube, but just a little behind the scenes talk. Did I get too real with that experience thing, or is that the truth? Like,
no, that's good. That's solid.
I've heard that so many times.
Too long, but definitely good.
All right.
I'm losing interest in, this is a show about me. So
Chris, you lost interest from the first 5 minutes today. You asked me a question on the call only episode, and then as soon as you ask the question, you go face down into the hand. What's the matter with you, Chris? This is a big.
It's been a long day.
Big operation here, Chris.
It's been a long day. I'm exhausted. All right, Jason, host, third one. Go for it. Boom.
Yes. Hey, everybody. And hi to our sound engineer, Rachel. Chris, sometimes when my yeses get a little too weird, she cuts them out. So continue to make your judgment calls, Rachel. I think you have the best interests of the show in mind, and I
used to do the same thing to you. I did the same thing. You would do this like 3-minute screen, and I would cut it to like 2 seconds at the end.
All right. Well, you guys see the reviews on iTunes. My favorite part by far is Jason's yeses.
Yes. Yeah, he says that. Yeah.
All right, so welcome to the PPC Questions and Answers show, everybody. Today's question comes from Austin from South Bend, Indiana. South Bend, Chris, I don't know if you've ever been, but fall time, football, Notre Dame, leaves on the ground. Such a beautiful, beautiful city. I have a client that set up their ad groups by keyword match type.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
Breathe.
So, for example, I think we get it. But so, for example, the keyword phrase match yellow handbags, or the keyword yellow handbags, has 3 ad groups. Yellow handbags broad match modifiers, yellow handbags phrase match, yellow handbags exact match. I assume this is bad practice, but I had seen it recommended by this article. And he also says a Google support document, which he can't find anymore conveniently, Chris, because I think the memory is a funny thing. In Austin, I don't think that article ever existed. But he says, is there ever a reason to make one ad group per match type? I personally think it overcomplicates things, but I'm wondering what you guys think. Austin, you got great gut feels here, great instincts. So we're going to try to lead you in the right direction. So, Chris, what do you think? Different match types in different ad groups.
Okay. Go back and listen to our Skags. Our Skags debate still to this day holds true. Everything that I said before. I'm pretty sure that's going to be evergreen and always relevant no matter what happens in AdWords. Listen to the Skags debate, the great debate about Skags. Okay. So welcome back. You just listened to that. And happy birthday, by the way. So here's the thing. I don't always disagree with all the other ways that people build AdWords campaigns. I disagree with my own personal opinion on how I like to do it. This is the way that I manage campaigns. But it's always relative. But I want you to always pull back from making decisions about AdWords campaigns based strictly on the fact that you think that there's some kind of magic potion. There is not a magic formula that's going to make you successful. I'll tell you what's successful: a good landing page and good keywords and qualified traffic. That's the magic formula. How you make that happen
Chris,
can be
does
done
that
many,
mean you
many
have
ways.
to have a landing page or a website? See, Chris, there's no easy answers. You just said landing page. You just confused half the world's population.
Okay. Well, the fact is, Austin, if you want to do it that way, you can. I do not think that it's a valuable asset to making a successful campaign. I think that your experience in AdWords makes a difference. You can improve things because you know what works and you know what doesn't. The type of client you're working with could make a difference in the way that you build a campaign versus in e-commerce or, a plumber out there or a dentist. You're going to make a different type of build based on what you're working with. And then finally, the way that you work as an AdWords manager is going to make a difference in the way that you build the campaign. So in the end, no two campaigns are going to look the same. Jason and I could be asked to build the same campaign, and when we do it separately, we come together, we're going to have a different build out, even though that he and I agree on, I think, everything in AdWords. I mean, it's like a match made in heaven as far as I agree on our strategies in AdWords, and we would still not agree and build the campaign the exact same way. So I don't think there's a specific wrong answer. I just think there's a wrong answer when it comes to applying the same pattern across everything. There we go. That's as honest as I can get. Jason, take it away for me.
Chris, I like. I'm preparing. We're preparing for these Q&A shows now a lot in a lot more streamlined process. So I write out my answers after you pick the questions, and I think I'm just going to start reading my answers on the air here. So,
that's going to be so exciting.
Austin, I said
wonderful.
I was reading the extremely long article you sent, and after 5 long minutes, I realized people pay me extremely large amounts of money, and I should get back to working for those people and close this article that wasn't making me any money. What a joke. How many times do your boys have to say it ain't worth it, doesn't do anything for you, boy? But people keep asking about this. So, yeah, go ahead and do whatever works best for you. Chris, those were my initial thoughts with this topic.
That's a raw Jason brain feed right there. You can just see that's what he thinks.
Chris, Chris, why did you become soft on this? Like, okay, PPC question and answer, keep it 5 minutes straight, blah, blah. Well, no, let's get real here, Chris, for a second. The old Chris, before he got PC, before he blew up and became a celebrity online, you would have said this is stupid. You would have said this is dumb. What could this let me ask you a question, Chris, because you were so nice about this this theory. You were like, well, it doesn't work for me. You can probably spend your time doing something better. But if it works for you, how could this possibly, like, I'm trying to honestly learn here, Chris, how could this possibly help a situation?
Oh, no, it's an excellent question. In no way, Jason, in no way do I believe that building a campaign with this way will improve your results at all. Black and white.
That's all I want.
No way.
Because I don't get it either.
My answer,
I don't get it.
No, absolutely not. There's absolutely no benefit to doing this. Google will not give you. That's why I mentioned the magic potion. This is not some kind of formula that's going to work for you. That's absolutely not true. So
how could it even help? Like, if you had 3 ad groups per keyword, per 50 keywords, and every keyword had its own 3 ad. I mean, what are we doing? Like,
it looks better. Like, it's impressive. You take a screenshot of it and it's like, wow, no wonder I paid this guy $700 to set up a campaign. Look how impressive that is.
All right. Yeah. Austin, you guys value our honesty. I don't get it. And I know you don't get it either, Austin, from your question. You can tell it seems like a waste
Austin's
of
a
time.
smart guy.
Yeah.
He's smart. He's questioning what he read on X website.
But by the way, Chris, again, if people want to do it. I think we are definitely softening our responses. Like, because I came up with the same thing. Like, I'm just beaten down at this point. Like, how many times can we talk about playing games with your ad groups and all that kind of stuff? You can't get better than grouping 10 to 30 keywords in an ad group that are similar and creating great ads that get a great click-through rate and managing those bids. I mean, you can't do better than that. So why play these games? But at the same time, there must be something in the water out there that is mucking things up and making everyone think that you've got to play with your ad group.
It's fake news.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a bunch of fake news.
Okay, there goes our monetization for this episode. So before he keeps doing it to us. But yeah, that's our answer, Austin. So thanks for sending in your question. We don't think it will do anything for you, and we think your time's best spent elsewhere. But again, if organization wise, if it helps you go through things, there's nothing. I mean, you can still do good if you do it. We just don't think it adds a lot. So thanks for sending in your question, Austin, from again South Bend, beautiful city, Chris. And if you guys have a question for us about Google Ads, send it in at paidsearchpodcast.com. We thank you for subscribing. We thank you for leaving reviews. We'll see you next time every Tuesday and Wednesday on the PPC Questions and Answers Show.